Voice of Korea.
This is Voice of Korea.
Voice of Korea.
This is Voice of Korea.
Now we begin the English language transmission from Pyongyang, the capital of the Democratic People's Republic of Korea.
This happened in a series of mixed covers. Song of General Kim Il-sung. Winner Prisoner Meal covers Song of General Kim Jong-il.
You are listening to Voice of Korea News Now. Respected Kim Jong-un received a gift from the Mathieu Kérékou Foundation of Benin. The gift was handed over to the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Socialist Party of Benin, who is General Secretary and spokesman for the foundation. Respected Kim Jong-un received the Jingzhong Lian Coal Sales Company Limited of China on a visit to Korea. The gift for him was handed to an official concerned on the 27th. A Danish preparatory committee was formed in Copenhagen on the 20th, and the Ethiopian preparatory committee in Addis Ababa on the 21st to celebrate the Day of the Sun, the birth anniversary of the great leader President Kim Il-sung. The preparatory committees decided to hold political and cultural events praising his immortal exploits on the occasion of the Day of the Sun. A roundtable forum was held in Kuwait and a reading session in Guinea on the 22nd and 23rd on the occasion of the Day of the Sun. Present at the events were personages of different sections and other people of the given countries. Speakers said the great President Kim Il-sung was a great man who devoted his all only to the prosperity of the country and the cause of global independence. His achievements will be kept in the hearts of the progressive humanity forever, they stressed. DPRK Premier Park Bong-joo made a field survey of the satellite scientist street under construction. He looked around different places of the construction site to learn in detail about the progress of the project and encourage the builders for their achievements. The relevant measures were taken at a consultative meeting of officials concerned held on the spot. Officials, working people and school youth and children in different parts of Korea have planted more than 60 million trees in over 10,000 hectares of land throughout the country since early March. Many trees of good species, including Changsung larch, pine nut, and three-needle pine and Pyongyang maple trees were planted in Cheongdan, Unryul, and other counties in South Hwanghae Province. Officials, working people and school youth and children in Hwangju County, North Hwanghae Province planted 1,890,000 odd trees in more than 300 hectares within a little over 20 days, and those in Dinsan County, Songnim City, and Sunghua County also accomplished their spring tree planting plans. Different cities and counties in South and North Pyongan provinces, including Suncheon and Kacheon cities and Pakcheon County, planted a lot of trees in mountains along the main roads. A spokesman for the North Side delegation to the Inter-Korea High-Level Contact gave a statement to media on the 28th. The statement said, "It is the present authorities of South Korea, led by Park Geun-hye, that shamelessly slander the nuclear issue of the fellow countrymen abroad, while openly instigating leafleting and diatribe against the fellow countrymen at home. Frantic leafleting against the DPRK leads the inter-Korean relations to fatal crisis again. Concerning it, we remind the South Korean authorities of its seriousness. The South Korean authorities must clearly know, first of all, that persistent leafleting against the DPRK is an open breach of the precious national agreement and the most serious betrayal which cannot be pardoned in any case. The leafleting and malicious slanders against the DPRK, expanding beyond the tolerance limit, are an open provocation declaring a war on the DPRK. The more persistently they instigate the human scums and conservative media to the conspiratorial slanders against the fellow countrymen, the further Park Geun-hye will be caught in a dead-end corner, impossible to keep her face. They should come to their senses in the prevailing situation and act with discretion. If the South Korean authorities want to save face to meet us, they should properly implement the inter-Korean agreement. The entire fellow countrymen are sharply watching the movements of the South Korean authorities," the statement added. A spokesman for the DPRK Ministry of Foreign Affairs answered the Korean Central News Agency on Friday. The spokesman said, "The U.S. President recently held summit talks between the United States, Japan, and South Korea in Hague, and expressed a provocative intention to further strengthen their joint military exercises, openly justifying them. Today, the danger of war on the Korean Peninsula clearly comes from the huge aggressive forces and lethal equipment the United States shipped into and the uninterrupted frantic nuclear war exercises. The wicked strategic attempt of the United States is to prevent the attempt of the Korean Peninsula and improvement of the inter-Korean relations provided by cleaning up the situation with such military provocations and thus make an excuse for arms build-up in the Asia-Pacific region. The reality proves that the commitments announced by the United States several times that it has no intention to antagonize the DPRK are stark lie. The United States justifies the joint military exercises staged in Korea for occupying Pyongyang as defensive and regular ones, but describes the regular training of the Korean army on its territory as provocation. Such insistence cannot work on anybody. As the United States insists on such gangster-like logic, all our measures to further strengthen and demonstrate the war deterrent force will develop into more annual and regular processes in the future, the spokesman stressed. The Committee for Overseas Koreans in the DPRK issued a statement on Friday. The statement said, "It was reported that on March 24th, the Japanese authorities committed the fascist barbarity of instigating the Tokyo District Court to adopt the illegal decision on allowing the sale of the land and building of the Central Hall of the General Association of Korean Residents in Japan, or Korean Hall. The General Association of Korean Residents in Japan is a dignified overseas citizens organization of the DPRK, defending the legitimate rights of the Japan resident Koreans, and its Central Hall has in fact played a role for the DPRK Japan Friendship and Peace of Northeast Asia with the mission of a diplomatic mission of the DPRK in the absence of diplomatic relations between the DPRK and Japan. It is a state duty and unavoidable legal and moral responsibility of Japan to protect the rights and property of Koreans in Japan, the direct victims of the criminal forcible drafting of Koreans committed by the Japanese imperialists in the past and their descendants. In the so-called law-governed state Japan, the court made the decision to perpetrate the unprecedented scandal in total disregard of the precedents of the Japanese law and court and the uses of auctioneering procedures. Decision is no other than the present authorities in power. as the Japanese authorities intentionally triggered off the volcano of distrust when confidence building is more urgent than ever before for the improvement of the DPRK-Japan relations, we are prepared to take relevant countermeasures. If Japan persists in the moves to seize the central hall of the General Association of Korean Residents in Japan despite our warning, the responsibility for all consequences therefrom shall go entirely to the Japanese authorities, the statement stressed. The Society for Cooperation Among Koreans in Germany issued a statement on the 20th under the title, "Let us get rid of the old way of thinking of distrust and confrontation and open up a new era of reconciliation and coexistence by the Korean nation itself." The statement said, "An atmosphere of reconciliation and peace was created on the Korean peninsula, and a new era of reunification began after the adoption of the Inter-Korean Joint Declarations. But an era of confrontation opened again due to the pro-U.S. regime which appeared in South Korea. The statement demanded the South side have candid dialogue with the North side and stop slanders." According to the South Korean internet newspaper Tongil News, 49 civic and public organizations of South Korea, including the People's Action Against War and for Peace and the People for Peace and Reunification, held a press conference outside the U.S. Embassy in Seoul on the 26th and demanded the South Korean and U.S. authorities put an immediate stop to the offensive Sangnyong exercise and come out for negotiations for peace on the Korean peninsula. After the press conference, the organization staged a demonstration. A Korean scientist in the United States, who is expert of anti-submarine warfare, at a press conference held on the 25th, denied a claim that the South Korean Cheonan warship was sunk by a torpedo 4 years ago, according to the South Korean internet newspaper Jasu-Minbo. He said now there is almost no possibility that the Cheonan was sunk by a torpedo as in the past. It was unprecedented in the history of naval battles that the torpedo sank warship by explosion under the ship, not by hitting it directly, he maintained. The statement of the National Defense Commission of the DPRK, clarifying our stand on the U.S. hostile policy towards the DPRK as regards the prevailing situation, continues to be reported abroad. The full text or gists of the statement were reported between March 18th and 21st by the Russian Daily Ross News Agency and internet home pages of the Khabarovsk Territorial Committee of the Communist Party of the Russian Federation, the Khabarovsk Territorial Regional Committee of Just Russia, and the Tinda Group for the Study of Kim Il-sung Kim Jong-ilism, the Lao News Agency, and the website of the MS Travel Company of Germany. The Indonesian newspaper Suara Karya on the 21st ran a commentary under the title, "The DPRK demands the United States stop hostile policy toward it." The commentary said, "At a time when the traces of the Second World War disappear with the passage of time and balanced position between countries is ensured, the policy of territorial partition and national division continues only in the Korean peninsula due to the U.S. hostile policies actively support and encourage the Korean people in their just struggle," the commentary stressed. The Communist Party of the People of Spain made public a statement, and Ilian Todorov, member of the National Assembly of Bulgaria, contributed a commentary to the newspaper Ataka in denunciation of the increasingly undisguised U.S. hostile policy toward the DPRK. And that's the end of the news, read by Che Sung-nam. This is Voice of Korea.
Dear listeners, we inform you that from 3 hours UTC on March 30th, 2014, the English language service of Voice of Korea from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea will broadcast on the following changed frequencies. For Southeast Asia, between 5 and 6 hours UTC on 13,650 kHz and 15,105 kHz, and between 10 and 11 hours UTC on 11,735 kHz and 13,650 kHz. For Middle East and Northern Africa, between 16 and 17 hours UTC and 11,645 kHz, and between 19 and 20 hours UTC on 9,875 kilohertz and 11,635 kilohertz. For Southern Africa, between 19 and 20 hours UTC on 7,210 kilohertz and 11,910 kilohertz. And for Central and South Americas, between 4 and 5 hours UTC on 11,735 kilohertz, 13,760 kilohertz, and 15,180 kilohertz. And between 10 and 11 hours UTC on 11,710 kilohertz and 15,180 kilohertz. Dear listeners, we inform you that from 3 hours UTC on March 30th, 2014, the English language service of Voice of Korea from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea will broadcast on the following changed frequencies. For Southeast Asia, between 5 and 6 hours UTC on 13,650 kilohertz and 15,105 kilohertz, and between 10 and 11 hours UTC on 11,735 kilohertz and 13,650 kilohertz. For Middle East and Northern Africa, between 16 and 17 hours UTC on 9,890 kilohertz and 11,645 kilohertz, and between 19 and 20 hours 75 kilohertz and 11,635 kilohertz. For Southern Africa, between 19 and 20 hours UTC on 7,210 kilohertz and 11,910 kilohertz. And for Central and South Americas, between 4 and 5 hours UTC on 11,735 kilohertz, 13,760 kilohertz, and 15,180 kilohertz. And between 10 and 11 hours UTC on 11,710 kilohertz and 15,180 kilohertz. We've just informed you of the changed frequency 2014. Now you enjoy your meal chorus. Fearless people. 위생주의 비밀 유해된 방참, Our Father.
This time, we present a radio forum of military scientists, candidate to the mission, Professor and Dr. Han Liu at Kim Il-sung University under the title, Imbuing the Whole Society with the Kim Il-sungism, Kim Jong-ilism is the ultimate program of the Workers' Party of Korea.
온 사람의 김일성, 김정주의와는 조선노동당의 최고 강령입니다. 온 사회
Imbuing the whole society with Kim Il-sungism, Kim Jong-ilism is the ultimate program of the Workers' Party of Korea. The reason is, first of all, that Kim Il-sungism, Kim Jong-ilism clearly indicates the final objective of the party. The final objective of the Workers' Party of Korea is to build a society in which independence of the popular masses has been completely realized. Kim Il-sungism, Kim Jong-ilism gives a perfect explanation to man's essential characteristics, the law of social development, and the features of society, where the independent demand of man has been fully met. It comprehensively explains the basic direction and demand for building an independent society, mental and moral qualities of people, and ideas and theories on social relations and way of activities. After all, a society where independence of the popular masses has been completely realized is a society in which Kim Il-sungism, Kim Jong-ilism has been fully enforced. Kim Il-sungism, Kim Jong-ilism is the ultimate program of the Workers' Party of Korea, as it clearly indicates the final objective of the party to build a society where independence of the popular masses has been completely realized. Another reason is that Kim Il-sungism, Kim Jong-ilism indicates fundamental ways to achieve the final objective of the Workers' Party of Korea. Kim Il-sungism, Kim Jong-ilism illustrates correct fighting strategy and tactics, orientation and ways to victoriously advance and accomplish the revolutionary cause of independence of the popular masses. It fully systematizes the ideas and theories of the revolution and construction at all stages and in all fields, including the theories on national liberation, class liberation, and human emancipation, theories on social transformation, nature remaking, and human remolding, the theory on Sungun or army-first politics, and the theory on the building of a prosperous nation. The Korean army and people will thoroughly imbue the whole society with Kim Il-sungism, Kim Jong-ilism in single-minded unity around respect to Kim Jong-un and accelerate the final victory of the revolution of Juche.
So far, you've been listening to the radio forum under the title, Imbuing the Whole Society with the Kim Il-sungism, Kim Jong-ilism is the ultimate program of the Workers' Party of Korea. This is Voice of Korea.
Now you will appreciate a serious symphony, song dedicated to the party. Solo and Pangchang, heritage of a home. listeners, with this we conclude the English language service of Voice of Korea from the Democratic People's Republic of Korea. Voice of Korea presents its English language service for Southeast Asia between 5 and 6 hours UTC on 13,650 kHz and 15,105 kHz on 6,185 kHz and 9,850 kHz. For Middle East and Northern Africa, between 16 and 17 hours UTC on 9,890 kHz and 11,645 kHz, and between 19 and 20 hours UTC on 9,875 kilohertz and 11,635 kilohertz. For Southern Africa, between 19 and 20 hours UTC on 7,210 kilohertz and 11,910 kilohertz. And for Central and South Americas, between 4 and 5 hours UTC on 11,735 kilohertz, 13,760 kilohertz, and 15,180 kilohertz, and between 10 and 11 hours UTC on 6,170 kilohertz and 9,435 kilohertz. Goodbye, this is Pyongyang.